Good morning, and welcome to the First Parish Church of Stowe and Acton, a welcoming and spiritual community. My name is Tricia Gooditz, and I serve on the Board of Trustees and the Sabbatical Committee here at FPC. For those visiting FPC for the first time, we welcome you. Please let us know you are here by filling out one of our visitor information cards in the pews and hand it to an usher. Drop it in the plate or hand it to Meg, our welcoming staff member, right back there. Thanks, Meg. Our ministers, staff, and board are listed on the front of the order of service. Please feel free to ask me or any of the people on the order of service for more information. If you would like a large print order of service or hymnal or an assisted living device, please ask one of our ushers. Our assisted living listening devices are small radios. Anyone is welcome to use one of these to listen to the service from another space in or around the building. After the service, please join us for coffee and conversation in our fellowship hall, which is down one level at the other end of the building, or in a breakout room if you're planning on joining us online. I'd like to draw your attention to the announcements in our order of service and also invite you to check out our webpage for more information. You can also sign up there for our newsletter and email alerts. And now let us come together for a time of community, singing, and worship.
Oh Our opening words are from Andrea Hawkins-Kamper. Gather we now into this space, this time when the wheel turns and the veil shatters. Gather we now to remember, to grieve, to prophesy, to complete our harvests before the long dark comes. Gather we now to tell the old stories and sing the old songs, to be, as we always have been, the voice of our people eternal. Gather we now to celebrate that which was, that which is, and that which will be. Gather we now, as we have always done, united by story and bound by love. The service today is going to be a little different than normal. For those people who are new, I am not Reverend Cindy Landrum. My name is Anne Sadler. I am one of your lay ministers. And together with Tricia Gooditz, we are sharing the duties of the minister today. So please bear with us. I'm going to ask Tricia now to light the chalice for us. And the chalice lighting words are from Florence Caplow. As we kindle this, the flame, we honor and remember those who have passed into the mystery. Their brightness lives on in our vision. Their courage lives on in our commitments. And their love continues to bless the world through us. Please rise as you are able and join in singing hymn number 103 in the grey hymnal. And please stay standing afterwards for the covenant and affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
would like to acknowledge that First Parish Church is located on the traditional and ancestral territory of Massachusetts, Nipawk, Pawtucket, and Wampanoag people. We thank them for their hospitality and stewardship of this land.
Good morning. Okay. The flame is flaming today. It's wonderful. You are invited to place a memento or photo on our altar today, and or to label rocks with a name or a symbol or a place in it on our altar. Rocks will be taken after to the memorial garden. Stones have been used to mark the dead for centuries. From ancient cairns to places stones on the graves in Judaism and other faiths. We now have a special rock garden for remembering the dead in our own memorial garden. And so what we'd invite you to do now is for those who would like to come up and paint a rock with a name, which you'll be invited to, at the end of service, bring down to the garden. And parents, we ask you to hold on to your rocks for your young ones, and then you will greet them in RE area, and we can all go together to bring our rocks down. So I invite you now to come up. I think we should maybe move this way in a loop. So if you'd like to come this way, paint, and then exit that way. So please come forward. And pets can be remembered too. We will now proceed downstairs for our religious education, and Chris is going to teach us a new song to bring the children down. This hopefully will be the song that we stick with, I think.
So I've been wanting to do something. I like singing the kids out. We used to sing Go Now in Peace, and there's a story behind that. If you want to know why not, I'll let you know later. Talk to me at coffee hour. But I miss singing, and I thought, well, I'll write something that we could do. So we'll try it for a few weeks, and we'll see how it goes. If we like it, we'll keep it. So the words are in your bulletin, but just repeat after me. Could I have it? Our love surrounds you. Our love surrounds you. Here joy has found you. Here joy has found you. Let hope abound freely. Go in peace. Sing that. Let hope abound freely. Go in peace. Let's put that all together. And our love surrounds you. Here joy has found you. Let hope abound freely. Go in peace. It's missing something. I think it needs some clapping. I think it needs some rhythm. So I'm going to put the microphone down, and we'll sing it. We'll sing it through once. We'll start the clapping, get the rhythm going. We're clapping on 2 and 4, in case you're wondering. And then we'll do it around, like 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll sing it a few times. And if Lindsay would like to lead people out, you're welcome to do that. So, 1, 2.
I now invite forward Tricia Gooditz in her role as Vice President and Janet Beatrice, our Publicity Coordinator.
Hi. You want to come up, Janice? Hello. Janet has served our congregation for almost a decade now as our publicity coordinator. She's put out weekly announcements for our Sunday services to the press and monthly announcements about everything from Friday Friends, our new name for the Club UU, to the coffee houses. She's written articles about the arrival of new staff, about the 100th anniversary of Flower Communion, about social justice efforts, and much, much more. Janet is leaving us in this role, but remaining as a member of this congregation, so not really going away. and has been working diligently to train our staff person, Meg Rivers-Wright, to take on these roles. So on behalf of everyone at FPC, we'd like to thank you for your hard work and dedication over the last 10 years, Janet. And thank you very much. Yeah.
There's one thing I want to say. You people have kept me so darn busy. I have never seen a church have so many events that help so many people. It's crazy. And yeah, you guys are amazing. So I'm really proud to be a member of a church that does so much. And I'm sorry that I'm not as involved in those activities, which I couldn't even begin to name because there are so many. And I just admire you all for what you do for people. I grew up Catholic, so I think I'm a Christian. I'm not sure, but I feel like this is what, to me, Christianity would mean, and I feel closer. It feels closer to me than it did. Not to berate any other church, but this is, to me, what spirituality is about, and that's why I'm a Unitarian Universalist. And so I'm really proud to have helped you all get the word out for these wonderful events. And also, when I started 9.5 years ago, Rebecca Stanolnik originated the role, and I bugged her for like a good year or two or three, and then I think I've still had questions for her 9 years later. And I'm delighted to have Meg taking over the role, and so just thanks to them and to all of you for being such a wonderful church.
Thank you, Janet. And it's very difficult to get everyone in the congregation to sign things. We have a card that is circulating for Janet, and if you get the chance, please sign it today. I'd now like to invite John Kendrick forward. Our endowment committee has a special message for us this morning.
Thank you, Janet, for your service. And that was a perfect lead-in, really, to what I want to say in terms of the amazingness of this congregation and Unitarian Universalism. So good morning. I'd like to share a story with you about why FPC means so much to me and why I decided to include it as a beneficiary when my wife Emily and I updated our wills not too long ago. In 2018, while living in Maryland, Emily and I decided to buy a home in Acton so that we could spend about half our time here and start being active grandparents for our granddaughters who live nearby. I started attending FPC online in 2020 during the pandemic, when I just knew you all as little names in boxes. And after moving permanently here in 2021, I became a member of FPC. So it's not easy to uproot one's life after living in a place for 23 years and raising a family like we did in Maryland. But the transition really was smooth, largely because of FPC, which became an anchor for my new life here in New England, and part of Emily's life too, even though she's not a UU. So I dove in and became an enthusiastic member of the choir, and over time, a member of the endowment committee, a co-facilitator of a small group ministry, a member of the committee that recruited Chris and Trevor to come and be our wonderful music director and accompanist, and more recently, part of the booking team for FPC's Coffee House. I feel really fortunate to have gotten to know wonderful people who early on took both Emily and me under their wings, like Bob and Dee Glorioso, Katie and Dave Weeks, Susan Avery, many members of the choir, and more. So I'm continually amazed by the incredible involvement and generosity, just like Janet, of FPC members and friends in areas ranging from baking apple pies to social justice and the arts. I've been a member of some really excellent UU churches. I'm a lifelong UU, including All Souls in New York City, River Road in Bethesda, Maryland, and a church here in Needham back in the 1990s. But none of them can match the involvement and enthusiasm and community that I've witnessed and been part of here. So, last year, I made FPC a beneficiary of part of the remainder of the retirement plan that will be distributed after my lifetime. It took about 10 minutes to fill out a form and do this online. And why do this? Because of FPC's mission and impact on my life. As I think about the future, I want FPC to be able to keep delivering the same kind of community and liberal religious orientation to life for the next 200 years as it has for the past 200 years. And the FPC Endowment Fund helps secure FPC's future. It's a permanent fund that's primarily supported by people who plan revocable gifts, like I did, during their lifetime, that actually don't come to FPC until the end of their lives. And the Board of Trustees here determines how income from the fund is used. It's a versatile fund. It helps FPC survive, grow, and prosper in good times and in bad. On the Endowment Committee, it's Katie Weeks, June Mellon, and myself. We're not asking you to make any outright gifts to the fund. We simply ask that you think about what FPC means to you and consider the possibility of including FPC at some level, small, very small, or large, when you update or create your wills, trusts, or other plans. And soon you're going to receive a letter with a copy of this new brochure on legacy giving on the endowment. It explains why the fund is important and ways to support it. If you have any questions, Katie, June, and I would be glad to help answer them, and if needed, we could refer you to estate planning attorneys or financial advisors. A lot of people are pleased to know that many planned gifts save on taxes and actually don't reduce or reduce by very much the amounts that family members will receive, but they do benefit society greatly and this church greatly. So thank you for being part of FPC, for helping it survive and prosper now and in the future.
This is the time for joys and sorrows. This is the time in our service for sharing what's on our hearts and minds that we wish to be heard by the gathered community. This is with my lay minister hat on, and if you need at any time to contact the lay ministers, you can email caring@fpc-stowe-acton.org. Okay, not hearing anything, we'll light 2 final candles, the first for the cost of war, and the final candle for those joys and concerns that we didn't share today but remain in our hearts.
Please join me in prayer or meditation. This is a prayer of remembrance by Lori Walkie. Holy One, on this day of remembrance, we say aloud their names again, the names of those who died this year. Died. The word is jarring, so jarring that we hardly use the word, substituting euphemisms that are a bit more vague. Sometimes people say lost, when what they mean is dead. We lost so-and-so this year. But people who die are not lost. They are not misplaced. We did not just lose sight of them, nor did they wander off. They died. And it is as final as the word sounds. But that is, of course, why we don't say they died. When people die, they do not just disappear and we continue on. There's no such thing as out of sight, out of mind. There's no switch to flip to turn off our feelings. The person may not be lost, but we are at a loss for words, for normalcy, for what was and what could have been. And grief is such an unwieldy thing. We are fine 1 minute, years even, and then the deep sadness comes seemingly out of nowhere. That's the thing about people who are loved, their memories keep. They're never too far away. They come to us in a song lyric or a line of a movie dialogue or on a long walk. What was it that they always said? Oh, that's right. And they always had to have it said in a certain way. So maybe we'll do it that way and laugh a little in memoriam. Be with us, Holy One, as we grieve over the empty chairs at the table. We'll light a candle and say an extra prayer, and we trust with sure and certain hope that you who had them before, we let them go. Amen. Please rise as you are able to join us in singing hymn number 1002, Comfort Me.
Reverend Cindy was not well enough to write a full reflection. So she asked that instead I share these words, titled A Thousand Voices, by Tanya y Marquez. But I think you've heard my voice enough today, and what we're going to do is to let the author herself speak so that you can hear her. There are a couple of phrases or words in this. Themapsochil means marigold, and chocolate caliente, hot chocolate. You probably guessed that one.
I am Tania Marquez, and this Braver Wiser is called A Thousand Voices. Listen more often to things than to beings. From Spirits, a poem by Irago Ishmael Diop. Every year, around this time, there is a distinctive smell in the air, and the trees sway like the whisper of a thousand voices. That's how I know they are coming. At that point, the perpetual altar in my heart begins taking place outside of me for a few days, and it dances with joy at the thought of their coming. First, the table that will be the altar, a few boxes on top to create different levels. I begin to think about the pictures I am adding to my altar today. The beloved friend who didn't get to say goodbye, the one I loved, my grandparents, the cousin who left too soon. I allow myself to think about the ones whose pictures won't be on my altar, but that I still remember. The fragrance of the cempasúchil fills the air. Grandfather's sun-made flower, a ray of light guiding them back, calling them home. It is a long way here. It is good to have some food and drinks ready, so they may quench their thirst, so they may eat and gain strength for the way back. I love adding chocolate and drinking chocolate caliente. I imagine a moment of communion that transcends the world of the living. Once the altar is ready, I behold the sight of this place of encounter. They will come and will know they are missed. All of the times we spent together, all of the memories come rushing to us. Our elders told us to remember is to live again. And that's what we do when we allowed ourselves to be surrounded by their presence and the stories of times we spent together. My family and I gather. We tell stories, we laugh. We also cry a little. We rejoice in their company. Their stories come alive in our telling, and so does the love we still feel. I have learned to listen more often to things and to beings, to listen to my heart that knows a different way of knowing. My heart knows that the dead aren't really dead. Their stories are perpetually being told by the world around us, like trees swaying, like the whisper of a thousand voices. Let us end with a prayer. Boundless Spirit, open our minds, our hearts, and all of our senses to a different way of knowing. The knowing of the heart that recognizes love transcendent, love everlasting, love that never dies.
This month, we share our weekly offering with Concord Prison Outreach. You may donate by cheque made out to First Parish Church at fpcstoacton.org/donate or text to 978 310 3309. wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. Yes, I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. You used to rock me in the cradle of your arms. You said you'd hold me till the pains of life were gone. You said you'd comfort me in times like these, and now I need you, and now I need you. And you are gone. So I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. Since you've gone and left me, there's been so little beauty, but I know I saw clearly through your eyes. Now the world outside is such a cold and bitter place. Here inside I have feelings that will console. And when I try to hear your voice above the storms of life, then I remember that I was home. Yes, I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. Yes, I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. I think of the things that made me feel so wonderful when I was young. I think of the things that made me laugh, made me dance, made me sing. I think of the things that made me grow into a being full of pride. Think of these things, for they are true. And I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. I thought that you were gone, but now I know you're with me. You are the voice that whispers all I need to hear. I know a please and thank you and a smile will take me far. I know that I am you and you are me and we are one. I This is the part in our All Souls service where I invite you to share the names of those in your lives who've died this year. And if you wish, a brief statement of who they were in your life. And after we've finished in the sanctuary, we'll go to those people online in case they want to share a name or a photograph. Betty Williams, Terry Williams.
Jay Fiedler, Esmera.
Eileen Redmond.
Jim Steve. Francis Hocknett. Ward Dunning. Allison Walsh Santini. Walter LaFleur. Quentin Granger. Bill Hall. Dick Ebner. Alan Stolz. Shirley Farm.
Before I go to those online, Reverend Cindy gave me a list of people from our community who passed away, and if they weren't mentioned, to read their names. Former member Chris Spear, Nancy Grimes Steinfeld, a longtime member of FPC who served many roles at the church. Nevaeh Goddard, who tragically died in our rental home this spring, the church's rental home. She also mentioned the Reverend Colleen Squires, who Mark shared with us earlier. And finally, her cat, Loki Bear, who died last November. So I'm now going to go to those people online, if you have a name or a picture you wish to share.
My aunt, Marilyn Jones. Michael Campo.
As we hold these names in our hearts, I want to share a reading by Kathleen McTeague. In the struggles we choose for ourselves, in the ways we move forward in our lives and bring our world forward with us, it is right to remember the names of those who gave us strength in this choice of living. It is right to name the power of hard lives well led. We share a history with those lives. We belong to the same motion. They too were strengthened by what had gone before. They too were drawn on by the vision of what might come to be. Those who lived before us, who struggled for justice and suffered injustice before us, have not melted into the dust and have not disappeared. They are with us still. The lives they lived hold us steady. Their words remind us and call us back to ourselves. Their courage and love evoke our own. We, the living, carry them with us. We are their voices, their hands, and their hearts. We take them with us, and with them choose the deeper path of living. Please rise as you're able and join in singing hymn number 1001 in the Teal hymnal. These closing words are by the Reverend Colleen Squires of the All Souls UU Church in Grand Rapids, Michigan, who died unexpectedly this week and who was a friend not only to Reverend Cindy, but to our members Mark Koenig and Troy Liston. These are the words she shared every week at the close of the service. Your service is over. Go in peace and know you are loved.